You're not going to believe what I did. I feel like I've been making all this money, but then I thought that I was getting really funny. So I started to spend it all. I started to throw it away, and then I got a designer pair of shoes and they got stuck in the rain. Enough. So today, I'm going to be telling you about a pair of designer shoes that got stuck in the rain. I have a history of destroying fancy shoes. It's actually a problem now. I've taken Nike Dunks, which are expensive Nike shoes used for skateboarding, and you know what happened? I took it and I didn't leave it out in the rain. I decided that it was too light. I decided that I didn't want pale shoes. I didn't want pink shoes. I'm a strong, tough man. I need dark blue shoes. So I went and took my suede shoe polish and took my suede dye and put it on the shoe, and then it made it, really disgusting. But today we're not talking about that. Today we are going to be talking about an interesting concept, which is designer shoes. And you know what? I need to set the time. Designer shoes are actually worthy of being destroyed. Here you can see 4,000 Rand, maybe 5,000 Rand shoes, which are like 200, maybe $300. And you can ask yourself, what the frick is wrong with this guy? Why would he destroy them? I mean, how can you say these are destroyed when in actual fact they are looking fantastic? So that's what I'm going to tell you about. How I got them, story, and the mistake I made that ended up ruining them. So what happened was, at a time, during COVID, right? During COVID-19, whether you believe in it or not, people were buying like crazy online. Crazy. And my mom was smart enough to say, let's take our stuff, not second-hand, but let's try to find cheap stuff, and let's sell it. At that time, it was baking equipment, kitchen knives, all these sorts of things. And it sold well. And I said to Mom, look, I'll help you pack, but can you just pay me a little bit? Give me something on the side. She said, okay, not a problem. Next thing, you have no idea how many sales started to come in. Money like you can't believe. My bank account was too full that every single week I had to go and offload. 10, 20 grand, we're talking, every single week. And that's like earning top 1% within South Africa. So it was a lot of money. Now I'm poor, unfortunately, but I'm fixing that. And so what happened was I used that money to go and buy all these nice things, but clothes. Unfortunately, I never bought anything like jewelry or any piece of gold that would actually maintain its value. It was a big mistake of mine. But unfortunately, I ended up buying a pair of shoes. And being a young kid, back then I was 14, 15, now I'm 17. I'd spent the money on these pieces of nonsense. This is a piece of junk called Hide and Jack. Now if I actually go and put the shoe on for you, you'll see very quickly how it's very small. Yes, it fits me and looks quite nice, but an issue with it is that I left it in the rain. Now, the worst thing you can do is take something that's expensive and just discredit it. Say it's unimportant. And I have a history with leaving stuff in the rain. If we look outside here, all my clothes are sitting in a pillowcase, and they've been sitting there for a long time, just out in the rain. So unfortunately, I don't really respect the designer shoes that I have, even when I bought them with my own money. And it's a bit sad to think about. I want you to sit there, you on the other side, thinking when you've had money, what have you gone and spent it on? A lot of people tell me, I get money, oh, but I spend it on shoes, I spend it on women, interesting. I spend it on clothes. But we don't really hear all often enough people saying, oh, I got so much money and I, took my mom out for coffee. Or I put it in an investment account, or I used it to start a business. We hear people winning the lottery and then just blowing it on junk. Now I want to tell you a controversial take. You must never buy designer shoes. Ever. You must never buy designer clothes. You need to dress fine, dress smart, dress formally. Dress in a way that you can be proud of yourself, but don't wear designer clothes. Because what happens is, you waste so much money. And I want you to think about this concept. What happens if you earn $50,000, right? No, let's increase the stakes. What if you earn $100,000 every single month? But then, you spend $60,000 on a private jet, you spend $20,000 on food, and you spend $20,000 on designer clothes. You know what happened? You just got a whole lot of nothing. Fine, clothes, brilliant, good for you. But now they're just going to sit in your cupboard doing what? You can only wear so many outfits all at once. So you've just gone and blown $100,000 back to zero. And even if you keep on earning it, doesn't matter how much money you get, you're going to waste it. Those 10, 20,000 rands are life-changing sums of money. If I would have kept it in a fixed deposit today, I would be smiling. Today I would be able to live off the interest and never have to work again. that interest on the money that I was getting from the business was enough for me, even if it's only 400, $1,000 a month, it's enough for me to afford food and never have to work for food again. And then working is just extra money, but that's extra money on the side. So I made the mistake of buying designer shoes. Now let me explain the manufacturing process to you of this entire story. This shoe was most likely made in China. Now, in the shop, I said, "Sir, please can you tell me, is the shoe leather?" He said it's not leather. He said it is leather actually. He lied to me. And so I ended up buying the shoes thinking this is nice, high quality leather shoe, and it's going to go down well with all my other outfits and look fantastic. Little did I know, I actually took I took a flame, a very hot flame on it. And here you can see the test on the shoe. These Hide & Jack shoes, and Hide & Jack, this isn't a hit piece because 99% of the time I love the shoe. But the man lied to me. It's not a case of the shoe, it's a case of the shop. And he lied to me saying it's actually leather when I've actually gone and burnt it, and you can see that it's not leather, it's polyurethane. So I took my money and put it into clothes. I got this designer pair of shoes, these designer pair of shoes which are called Nike Sakai. These are actually fake. But a whole bunch of other stuff and shoes. And if you're in South Africa, you know that a big brand is called Fabiani. And the problem with Fabiani is that they do a very similar thing. Let me tell you the scam so that you know for future. What they do, these brands, is they spend millions on advertising, or at least hundreds of thousands with influencers. Then they go to China and they get shoes like this. Then they put their fancy logos and get emblems, and see this on the top how it says HJ. That's a little emblem which makes you believe that it's high quality. And then what they do is they mark up the price through the roof, putting highly attractive salesmen so that you want to buy from them. These designer companies exploit you and I, my friend. And I actually find it positively disgusting. The fact that they don't care. The fact that they don't care about importing it from China. And here's the worst thing of all with these designer brands, why you should never ever buy designer shoes. They make them in China for next to nothing. These shoes probably cost $10, $20, and they sell it for $200, $300. Massive markup. But the worst thing of it all is that they'll market themselves as an Italian brand. Oh, look at us, we are Italiano, we are an Italian brand. Handmade leather shoes. Meanwhile, made in China. And I don't want to call out any brands here because I don't want to call out the wrong brand and then they say, we actually are made in Italy. But nine times out of 10 you will find a shoe that says Italian made in China, or at least not handmade. And if it is handmade, you will pay 10 times the value of it, my friend. Designer shoes are a scam. So here's the moment you're waiting for. How I ruined it. What I did was I took these shoes and I left them outside because the problem is they aren't leather, which means that they end up stinking. I wear them once and they stink. And if I leave them in the house, what happens is the mosquitoes flock, and then I actually can't sleep because I get bitten by the mosquitoes endlessly. So I left these outside. Then it started to rain, which just made them stink more. And then what happened was this inner sole started to curve. And what that did is it actually reduced the entire size of the shoe because the inner sole curved, and the entire shoe shrunk. So now I can't even wear these shoes. And that's why I'm coming to tell you that all designer shoes are a waste of money. If I would have got plastic shoes from the Chinese market for $2, I would be a lot happier now. I'd leave them in the rain, I'd run around in the dirt, I'm able to move freely, I don't have to worry that I'm messing up these expensive clothing. I once saw this one photo of this oak on Instagram. He was telling me I was a crypto trader, or forex trader. He was wearing a Philip Plein shirt, it was like 50,000 Rand, something ridiculous, a Rolex, some fancy pair of shoes, a gold chain, a diamond tennis bracelet, and he said this is more than you will ever make in your life worn on one outfit. All designer clothes do is it fuels your own arrogance, and at the end of the day they're literally worthless, made in China. If you see a person wearing designer clothes, know that person is an idiot, because they've gone and spent money on something times 10 whatever the cost is. So the people who wear the most designer clothes are the people are actually the people who are the most idiotic. And with that, I want to wish you well, but don't buy designer. This is why you should never ever buy designer shoes.